hustle here and a hustle there.
What's up, rebels? The 70s were a battleground of sound. From band tracks to lyrical outrage, we're diving into the decade's most explosive, controversial rock songs. Yo, fellow punk rock outlaws, if a song could be a Molotov cocktail, it's the Sex Pistols' God Save the Queen. Dropped in 1977 during Queen Elizabeth's Silver Jubilee, this wasn't just a track, it was an all-out declaration of war on the monarchy and tradition. The backlash was instant and legendary. The BBC slapped a ban on it, Woolworths refused to stock it, and Parliament straight up called it treason, trying to strangle its sales. But you can't kill a revolution. The Pistols, defiant as ever, cranked it up on a boat, cruising the Thames right past Westminster, sparking riots and arrests that made headlines across the globe. It shot to number 2 on the UK charts, with everyone whispering it was cheated out of the number 1 spot just to save the Queen's face. This 3-chord banger, born from the rage of a rotting Britain, didn't just top the charts, it birthed a full-blown punk revolution. It turned a generation of disenfranchised kids into rebels with a cause. Every power chord is a middle finger to the establishment, inspiring every mohawked dreamer to grab a guitar and scream. God Save the Queen proved once and for all that music isn't just noise. It's a weapon that can rattle empires. All right, fellow Rolling Stones maniacs, let's talk about a track that's pure, uncut rock and roll filth. Star Star from 1973's Goat's Head Soup. This is the swaggering blues rock beast that makes you want to strut like Mick Jagger in his prime. Originally titled Starfucker, this track is a no-holds-barred dive into the grimy world of groupie culture. Jagger's sneering vocals and Keith Richards' grimy, blistering riffs spell out the explicit truth with lines like, "Starfucker, starfucker, star." Naturally, this thing got banned. UK stations blacklisted it for its crude lyrics and title, forcing Atlantic Records to slap a new name on it, Star Star. In try for edits, the band basically ignored. Moral watchdogs lost their minds, calling it pornographic, but to the fans, it was an instant live classic. We roared along, soaking up its unapologetic vibe. Recorded in Jamaica during the band's wild tax exile chaos, this song is pure, distilled Stones rebellion, dripping with sex and defiance. It's a raw, unfiltered snapshot of 70s excess that proves you can shock the world and still absolutely slay.
But she never lost her head, even said, "Hey honey, take a walk on the wild side."
Lou Reed Disciples, Get Ready to Walk on the Wild Side. The 1972 classic from Transformer, with David Bowie's genius production, is a neon-soaked joyride through the seedy underbelly of NYC.
Even when she was giving head, she says, "Hey babe, take a walk on the wild side."
This isn't just a song, it's a roll call of Andy Warhol's Factory Crew. Reed name drops legends like Holly Woodlawn, Candy Darling, and Joe D'Alessandro, spinning vivid, unflinching tales of hustlers, trans folks, and drug-fueled nights. The lyrics were so raw, they made radio executives choke on their coffee. Lines like, "She never lost her head, even when she was giving head," led to radio bans and heavy-handed edits across the US and UK. The BBC even swapped colored girls for backing girls, a hilariously misguided attempt to sidestep racism fears, even though the singers were white. Despite all the controversy, the song slinked its way to number 16 on the Billboard chart, proving its undeniable sleazy charm. Inspired by his late nights in NYC's grimmiest dive bars, Reed crafted a cool, jazzy groove that feels like cruising Times Square at 2 a.m. As a rock fiend, I'm floored by how Lou Reed turned the forbidden into poetry, giving a voice to the outcasts in a world that wanted to shun them.
A hustle here and a hustle there. New York City is the place where
Let's get lost in the post-punk abyss of Killing an Arab. This 1978 debut by The Cure is darker than Robert Smith's eyeliner and hits you like a freight train. Inspired by Albert Camus' novel The Stranger, the song tells the haunting tale of a guy shooting someone on a beach in a sun-drunk daze. Robert Smith's chilling wail and that relentless bass line drag you right into the heart of an existential crisis. Of course, the title caused chaos. People totally misread it as anti-Arab hate, leading to radio bans across the US and Europe, especially when Gulf War tensions were flaring up. The Cure had to fight back, slapping disclaimers on their albums, swearing it was about philosophy, not prejudice. They even pulled it from their live sets during those touchy times. Despite the controversy, the song tore up the UK indie charts and cemented their signature gloomy sound. As a fan ready to dye my hair black, I'm absolutely hooked on its raw, literary nerve. It's a sonic gut punch that dared to tackle big ideas. This is The Cure at their most fearless, turning a novel's despair into a post-punk anthem that still haunts my speakers. Raise your horns for The Number of the Beast, Iron Maiden's 1982 riff-driven anthem that makes me want to scream 666 and headbang till my neck snaps. Written by bassist Steve Harris after a nightmare and a viewing of The Omen 2, this monster track unleashes Bruce Dickinson's insane operatic roar and lyrics pulled straight from the Book of Revelation. The American religious right lost their minds, branding it satanic. They held public album burnings and pushed for radio bans during the 80s satanic panic. But Maiden didn't even flinch. The song soared to number 1 in the UK and went platinum, cementing their legend.
I needed time to think to get the memories from my mind.
Here's a crazy fun fact. Producer Martin Birch got a creepy 666 car repair bill and paid $667 to dodge the bad mojo. Born from Harris's love of horror flicks, this isn't devil worship. It's a metal masterpiece that helped spark the new wave of British heavy metal. The Number of the Beast is a sonic sword, slicing through the fearmongers who couldn't handle its raw power. Let's talk about a song that's a beautiful, gut-wrenching heartbreaker, Roxanne. Written by Sting in a grimy Paris hotel room after seeing sex workers, this 1978 reggae rock gem is a desperate plea to a woman to put away the red light. Sting's soulful, soaring wails paired with that undeniable groove are pure magic.
Roxanne, you don't have to put up.
Of course, the song's raw subject matter spooked the squares. The BBC banned it for its theme of prostitution, and some US stations were too timid to play it. But Texas DJs, the true rebels, couldn't resist, and it eventually became a hit, proving that raw, honest music will always find its way to the top.
I know my mind is made up.
I'm obsessed with its blend of punk fire and island soul. Roxanne is proof that rock can turn a gritty, human story into an arena-shaking anthem. Every listen feels like a rebel love story, tearing through my heart with Sting's soaring voice. This is rock and roll at its most fearless, and I'm screaming along, lost in its raw, romantic chaos.
Since I knew you, every time the bell would ring, my ding-a-ling, I wanna play with my ding-a-ling.
Chuck Berry, you sly rock and roll god, let's talk about My Ding-a-Ling. This 1972 bop, recorded live in England, is a pure, unadulterated riot that's got me laughing my ass off and dancing like a kid.
Every time that bell would ring.
This cover of a 1952 tune is all about a boy and his ding-a-ling, a toy bell, of course, but come on, we all know the cheeky wink. Chuck's infectious grin and the crowd's wild sing-alongs turned it into a phenomenon, but it still managed to spook the squares. The BBC banned it for the saucy innuendo, and US stations got twitchy, fearing it was too risque.
I want you to play with my
Moral crusader Mary Whitehouse tried to torch it, calling it obscene, but Chuck just cruised right past the drama, scoring his only #1 on the Billboard chart. This track started as a spontaneous gag during a gig, but it exploded into a global sensation. It's a testament to Chuck's playful rebellion, proving that rock and roll can be mischievous and completely unstoppable. Every spin feels like I'm sneaking a beer at a 70s house party.
I remember the girl next door. She'd be the queen, I'd be the king. Together we'd play with your own ding-a-ling. The flag, if that don't suit ya.
School's out. Let's get hyped for the 1972 glam rock banger that makes me want to torch my textbooks and run wild. School's out.
That don't suit ya. That's a drag.
With its gnarly, crunchy riffs and Alice Cooper's iconic sneer, School's Out for Summer, School's Out Forever is every kid's fantasy of smashing the shackles of classroom prison. Cooper nailed it, channeling the raw energy of that glorious moment when you're finally free. He wrote it after asking, "What's the best 3 minutes of life?" and packed it with schoolyard chaos and a killer guitar hook that hits you like a sledgehammer.
Well, we got no class.
Naturally, the establishment freaked out. US and UK stations slapped bans on it, fearing it would inspire truancy or vandalism. Moral watchdogs called it a recipe for pure chaos. But the song was unstoppable. It stormed to #7 on the Billboard charts and hit #1 in the UK, becoming Cooper's definitive anthem.
Who's out forever? Who's out all summer?
Recorded in New York with producer Bob Ezrin, this track is pure shock rock fire, dripping with rebellious energy. I'm all in for its defiant vibe, born from that universal rush of summer freedom. This song is a sonic middle finger to authority, making every single spin feel like the last day of school.
Answers no more books. Yes, early looks. Timothy, we're under trapped in a mind what had caved in.
Rock weirdos, get ready for a deep dive into the macabre. Timothy is the 1970 pop rock creep fest that gives me goosebumps every damn spin.
Timothy, Timothy.
Written by Rupert Holmes, who was trying to stir up some hell, this song is about 3 miners trapped in a cave-in. Only 2 walk out, and their bellies are full. The gut-wrenching line, "My stomach was full as it could be," is straight-up horror. Naturally, radio stations like WABC banned it for the cannibalism vibe. The record labels, scrambling to save face, cooked up a story that Timothy was just a mule to calm everyone down. It didn't matter. The song still clawed its way to #17 on the Billboard charts, becoming an iconic one-hit wonder. Combs, inspired by the movie Suddenly last summer, knew exactly what he was doing. He bet on the controversy to boost the buzz, and it totally paid off. As a fan of Twisted Tales, I'm hooked on how this grim bop crashed the top 40 and freaked out the normies. It's a dark, catchy saga that proves rock can go macabre and still absolutely slay. Every listen is like a horror flick you can't quit.
She asked me to dance. I asked her for me, and in a dumb voice she
All right,
said
let's
no.
get into the heart of a true rock and roll classic. Lola is that 1970 Kinks gem that's got me dancing and grinning like a fool every single time. Ray Davies spins a wild, witty tale of a guy who meets Lola in a groovy Soho club, only to have a mind-bending revelation: she's transgender. With a sly wink, the song drops that unforgettable line: "Girls will be boys, and boys will be girls." The controversy? It was instant and hilarious. The BBC, with its no free ads policy, banned it for mentioning Coca-Cola, forcing Davies to fly 6,000 miles from NYC just to re-record it with Cherry Cola. Meanwhile, Australia outright banned it for its gender-bending themes, calling it too bold for their airwaves. But the song couldn't be stopped. It soared to number 2 in the UK and number 9 in the US, rescuing the Kinks from the brink of oblivion. Those crunchy, iconic riffs and Davies' razor-sharp, witty lyrics make it an LGBT anthem way ahead of its time. Born from Soho's electric nightlife, this track is pure rock and roll magic, smashing taboos with a cheeky grin. Every spin feels like a celebration of freedom, and I'm here for every riff, shouting along to its fearless, joyful rebellion. Naturally, radio stations like WABC banned it for the cannibalism vibe. The record label, scrambling to save face, cooked up a story that Timothy was just a mule to calm everyone down. It didn't matter. The song still clawed its way to number 17 on the Billboard charts, becoming an iconic one-hit wonder.